inside the locker room on. Anthony and Jay, inside the locker room on. Anthony and Jay, in this corner, we got in. In this corner, we got Jay. Let's get it. Inside the locker room on. Anthony and Jay, inside the locker room on. Anthony and Jay, inside the locker room on. Anthony and Jay, inside the locker room on. Anthony and Jay.
NBA playoffs. And what's interesting is you and I agree a lot on this second round. Maybe one series we don't agree on, but we pretty much agree.
And what series is that?
Boston and Washington. I think you and I disagree a little bit on Boston and Washington.
Okay, who's your pick?
I have picked Washington. I think Washington's going to win the East.
Okay.
But
they're going to win the East?
Yeah, I think Washington's going to get through this round and then beat Cleveland in the Eastern Conference Finals.
You're going to disregard what Cleveland's doing to Toronto right now?
What Cleveland's doing to everybody right now. It's 7-0 in the playoffs. Golden State's also 7-0 in the playoffs. But yeah, Cleveland is just running through folks right now. It's not even. LeBron is just running through people right now.
I think we got a question coming up. You know.
Yeah, later on in the show, definitely we're gonna talk about who's playing the best in the playoffs.
Definitely has to be in that conversation.
Absolutely. So LeBron is going crazy in the playoffs. They lead Toronto 3-0, and it's really simple. I think Toronto's quit.
Think they quit?
Yeah.
That's why Lowry's not playing. He's not hurt really.
I don't say he's not hurt, but I just think they quit.
Think they quit?
Yeah.
They don't have the talent, man.
They don't. But then they made moves to go out. They went and got Ibaka. They went out and got PJ Tucker. They go out and make these moves.
They made those moves for a defensive piece, but where's their three-point shooting at?
What's happened to DeMar DeRozan? He's one of the top 25 players in the league.
He's not a three-point shooter. They have to have people to stretch the floor a little bit. All Cleveland is doing is packing in and daring them to shoot. That's what they're doing, and they can't step up to the plate.
I just expected more out of them, I guess, because they have two All-Star guards, two Olympic guards.
But those guards are bad three-point shooters. And with that being said, that's their Achilles heel. Both those two guys, Lowry and DeRozan, are mediocre and subpar three-point shooters. And all Cleveland is doing is packing it in on them.
Golden State is proving why Utah won't win a game. Utah had not led until the second. They played 9.5 quarters.
Until 1 minute before the first half ended. I was watching that game.
That's nuts. You can't even get a 2-0 lead. You can't score first. That's nuts.
I mean, they're a young team. They're still learning. You can't say that they're totally out of it because they kind of figured it out in the first round. Yeah. Not saying it's the same level of competition.
But Golden State is proving my point to a lot of people. Curry, Thompson, and Draymond are all off last night. Kevin Durant goes against 38-15. So at any given night, it could be any one of those four.
Yeah, but they're playing Utah Jazz.
This is true. They are playing Utah.
They meet my boys, even though people were kind of writing us off because Tony Parker.
Now, that's my question.
Got hurt.
That's my question to you. Speaking of your boys, is San Antonio better without Tony Parker?
I think for this year's playoffs, I say yes. And we may lose some know-how in regards to playoff experience and running the offense from a point guard's perspective, but we can run point guard by committee by bringing in Ginobili, Patty Mills, and even some of the young guys, Anderson and Murray. And
I think Kawhi Leonard is the best player in the playoffs right now. So
LeBron's starting to sway me, even though Kawhi is my boy. LeBron right now, if you look at his stats, oh my God.
Yeah, he's putting up real numbers.
That's because he's playing cheesecakes though.
You and I watched game one.
Yes.
We watched game one together. You were in a much better mood because we're sorry.
Yeah, we got spanked game one, but I told you. That means absolutely nothing.
No, it didn't. I picked you guys in 5.
Yeah.
I think you're going to win today, and I think you're going to win on 2.
Yeah, that first game loss was we do that sometimes, but we're locked in, and without Tony Parker being out there, I think we get a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, I picked you in 5, and then Boston, Washington, the final series.
That's the best series right now.
I think they hate each other.
Yeah.
They obviously don't like
that. It gives me an old school playoff feel. You know what I mean?
And somebody suggested this on TV the other day, and I totally agree. I think that you just have to double team Isaiah Thomas and make someone else score. You can't let him go get 53 points.
What they did was they funneled Isaiah to force him to give the rock up to make the others beat them, and it worked.
Make Marcus Smart beat you. Make Jay Crowder beat you.
My main thing is mentally. Can you sustain that discipline from a defensive concept to keep him under control. That's the key. You mentally have to, make sure that you're honest with your defensive schemes against him.
And then beat him up a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's playing so well.
They knocked the tooth out of his mouth.
Yeah.
They gave him one of them Klitschko jabs and then,
But I love watching. I think their two guards continue to play at that level. Every night they're going to give you 60
the benches
points.
they heal, man.
Yeah.
I don't see them get past. I mean, I picked them against Cleveland, but now watching Cleveland, I don't know.
Are we
just
just resigning the East to Cleveland right now? We're just giving them the East?
Looks tough, man.
Okay. Makes sense to me.
Seriously tough right now for anybody coming out of the East.
Yeah, inside the locker room, Ant and Jay, man, WNLK 1350 AM. Make sure you check out our website, www.insidethelockerroom.antjay.com. Make sure you go to our YouTube page and check out our podcast, past podcasts or podcasts of this show on iTunes and SoundCloud. We're sponsored by the Bridgeport American Legion, so we're proud to say that. All right, presented by the Matriarch Agency, man, and we'll be back in a second. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back in a second, man. We'll talk Bluefish and Connecticut Sun recaps when we come back, all right? Inside the locker room, Ant and Jay.
This Saturday, May 13th, join us at M. White Lounge, 2288 Fairfield Avenue for our next pop-up live event. We have Buddha Love Jones on the ones and twos. We have a host of vendors and a mixer you don't want to miss. I'll see you there.
Inside the locker room more, Anthony and Jay. Inside the locker room more, Anthony and Jay. In this corner, we got in. In this corner, we got Jay. Let's get it. Inside the locker room more, Anthony and Jay. Inside the locker room more, Anthony and Jay. Inside the locker room more, Anthony and Jay. Inside the locker room more, Anthony and Jay.